Hello my friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Y'all, if you know about southern summers, they are hot and sticky. Well, this morning we have cooler, drier temperatures. It's still warm right into July, but this weather has got me dreaming about fall already. I know we got the month of August to go, but let a girl dream, right? So what we're going to do today is, one, we are going to be planting a brand new, to me, self-watering container from Earth Planter. There's a whole story, I'll let you know. But we're going to be planting it with summer annuals that can handle the heat and humidity of August, early September in North Carolina, but they're going to give me those fall feels as we move into those cooler temperatures. This is a great trick for my southern friends, those folks who are in those hot areas. When it is September and it's still super hot, but you're ready for fall to come, this is a really fun little trick to do. And then we're going to do a little bit of prep back here on Hydrangea Hill to make sure that we are set up for gorgeous color all throughout the late summer into fall. So without further ado, let's get to planting this brand new, to me, Earth Planter self-watering container. Music to this gardener's ears. As most of you probably will remember, a couple of weeks ago, Jerry and I were at Cultivate, which is like a horticultural trade show in Columbus, Ohio. We go every year. And this year we were talking to the folks at Earth Planter. Well, lo and behold, we got home and they were like, congratulations, you won an Earth Planter. And I was like, oh, this is exciting, because sweet friend of mine, Megan from Potted Charm, probably a bunch of y'all, if you don't follow Megan, you need to go. She specializes in these gorgeous container arrangements. But she uses Earth Planter of all the big different sizes. And so I am excited to go ahead and plant this up. It's going to be completely different from different self-watering containers that I have used in the past, but it goes fantastically with our kind of decor and scheme up here at the garden boxes. So you can see that the color that they sent us was this absolutely beautiful gray. It goes great with our raised bed garden boxes that are like a deep navy blue. And then of course the gravel is a nice gray with some brown in it. So the container is just the perfect color fit for what my space allows. So we're going to get to planting that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the plants that are going to go in here. So I went and raided the nursery, because you know me, I talk about it all the time. These are great plants that need to be in the ground or a container to give you that beautiful interest. All right, so of course we're going to kind of do like the thriller, filler, spiller, because that's just an easy way to do it. So first up, we have this grass. Now y'all, when I tell you this thing needs to come out of the pot, like look at that. I mean, talk about massive roots. We're gonna have to take care of that, but not a problem. So this is the graceful grasses. This is Fireworks. Now you may say, well, Jenny, Fireworks is supposed to be red, but that is a very much a green grass. Yes, because it has been in the greenhouse, which has UV protection. And so it's not got all that UV light. Within probably about 2 weeks, it will turn red. We've already got some little bit of some red tips right here. So no worries, it will turn. And y'all, look, it already has the plumes on it. Is that not just the sweetest thing ever? So this is going to go, that's going to be like my thriller. Then next we have the filler. This is the Color Blaze Mini-Me Watermelon. And Mini-Me Watermelon is going to be more petite. It's going to be like that 12 to 18 inches because it is going in front of the garden box. I don't want it to be the massive coleus. So we're doing Mini-Me Watermelon. It is going to take on more of the red hues as it gets that UV light on it. So we've got that. And then we have two spillers. So we are going with the Mojave Red Portulaca, because thinking of fall colors, gorgeous red, huge blooms on it. Pollinators love this plant just like they love the new Superlophus Sunglow. This is a Texas primrose. And so we're going to add that as well. So we're doing the reds, the yellows, all sorts of great colors that are going to go into this Earth Planter. So there is a special way that you need to plant this and get the soil in there so that the container works properly. Let me show you. Alrighty, my friends, so here we go. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to know if you have an earth planter, because there is some very specific instructions that you need to follow to ensure that the container works properly how it is designed to do. So first and foremost, it is designed to use a peat-based soilless growing medium, okay? So they have recommended soils that they would encourage you to use. You do not want to ever use like dirt, like out of your garden, bark, a compost-based soil, because it's going to mess with the wicking mechanism of the earth planter. They were kind enough and they sent me a bag of their soil, so that is what we are going to use. So inside there is that wicking mechanism, and Megan just swears by it and absolutely loves it. So I am very excited to try these out. So what I'm going to do is just kind of get the camera up close, because you're going to have the soil that's going to go in. We're going to moisten it as we fill the dirt in, and I have my hose right here with me, so I'm going to add some soil, add some water, so that way it's nice and moist all the way through. That is to ensure that the entire wicking action takes place immediately and that you set this container up for great success. Adding your soil to the earth planter, you want to add some soil, wet it, turn it. Think of it like if you've ever baked something, that you've ever made use a dough, like making biscuits or something, right? So you want to incorporate and turn that soil, because the top may look like it's really moist, but as soon as you flip it, the underside is wet. So this way, all of the soil in the container is nice and moist. It is not soaking wet, like it is not sopping wet. There's not tons of water just sitting in there, but it is evenly moist throughout the entire container. Before I put soil in it, you can still do it now. I went ahead and raised it up. I had the little terracotta feet and put underneath it, because underneath on the bottom of the container is a drain hole. So that way you don't have to worry about overfilling the earth planter. Or if it gets tons of rain and it fills up, you're not going to have your plants sitting in soggy soil. So there is a hole directly on the bottom. So that way, having the feet, I will know, one, when it's full with the reservoir, because water will come out the bottom, and two, it's not going to create a suction where the water will fill up in the container. So there you go on that. So the soil is in. They recommend, of course, like I do, when you are planting your containers, to add that slow release fertilizer in there. They provided me a little baggie of Osmocote, which is a fantastic slow release fertilizer. So that is in, and then of course we always use our biotone, because it has that mycorrhizae fungi in it, which promotes those strong, healthy roots. So it is a fertilizer, yes, but it is for the roots. The Osmocote and the biotone have two different purposes in your container, and they both have a place in your containers and in the landscape. So all I'm doing is coming in and just giving it a good little zhuzh, mix all that in, and now we're ready to plant, just like you typically would. So what I'm going to do is add my plants, because my coleus and my grass are definitely what I would consider to be root bound. We're going to do some root pruning, meaning we're going to pull those roots apart before we plant them. My friends, the earth planter has been planted and watered. So, coming up under here, I don't know, I can't get quite underneath there, but I promise it is squirting out from the bottom. So everybody is in. There you go. This are summer annuals that are going to take me straight into fall. This container is going to be massive and gorgeous and be an absolute showpiece. The earth planter, it holds a crazy amount of water. So make sure that you do not put water in your earth planter until you have it in the spot that you want it to be in, because yeah, it'll be a booger to move with it's full of water. So with that graceful grasses, fireworks grass, the color blades, mini-me, watermelon, coleus, the superlophus sunglow, Texas primrose, and then the Mojave red portulaca. This is going to take me straight into fall. Now, what we're going to do is a little bit of maintenance here on Hydrangea Hill. I have Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink. You can see the butterflies do love this plant. The pollinators love it. I have not trimmed it, and so what I'm going to do is give it a haircut. Overall, this looks really good compared to the weather that we have had and me not doing anything to this. It looks really good. So the reason that I am pruning it is what I'm going to do is just get my little electric hand pruners and come along and cut all of the backside. And then if I have some spaces that are coming up, like I have one that's coming up into my Montana moss, so I need to take that out. So by shearing this back some, I'm still going to have flowers on it, but I'm going to take the length off of it. That encourages that new growth, which means I'm going to have encouraging new flowers. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some slow release fertilizer down, and so that way it will feed it. We're supposed to have a couple of days of rain, so that will be perfect. Then once we get in there, we might do a little pruning on some Gaura, maybe some on the Montana moss to get it to kind of thicken up a little bit. We'll just see where the day takes us. How about that? right, my friends, so today's project is complete. I am setting myself up for an absolutely gorgeous, stunning fall. Yes, it is, what is it, technically August yet? I don't even know. I think it is. I think today is the first day of August when this video goes out. So I am setting myself up. We're just going to skip over August because August in the South can be quite challenging, shall we say. But doing these little things now, oh my gosh, the fall is going to be spectacular. So it is 2:30 in the afternoon. And so because all of these plants had been in the greenhouse, they're not quite used to the full UV light. So I stuck one of my little sun plant umbrellas in here, not to give them complete shade, but just a little bit of a break. They're still going to get acclimated and get lots of sun on them, but they're not going to get beat down. Y'all, I'm telling you, I got these things on Amazon. It's a 6-pack for like $29. Just, you know, go into Amazon and do a search rather for plant umbrellas, and there you go. So I love them, and they are so incredibly versatile. I may leave this on for like maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and then we're supposed to go into some rain and some cooler temperatures. So obviously I will take it down. It's just to help them get acclimated to their new home. So all is well there. I suspect I am not going to have to water this thing for quite a few days, and especially since it's going to rain, thank goodness for that. I did get my Rise Up Amberness. I just cleaned her up just a little bit, y'all. She will reflush, of course, in the fall. This is that mini climber from Proven Winners. I did not get it completely pruned back. I still see some old blooms in there, and so I do need to go ahead and give her some fertilizer before it rains. Yeah, so there you go. Give your roses a little prune. And then the Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink, it definitely got a haircut. I put the slow release fertilizer down. It's kind of nestled down in there, so when we get that rain, it will be great. Cleaned it up a little bit, and yes, I did go ahead and prune back my Montana Moss Juniper. I've never pruned these. When we were at Spring Meadow, at their display gardens, and because of course they're the home of the Proven Winner Color Choice shrubs, and theirs were super tight in the center where they had been pruning them over the years, and so they were nice and thick in the middle, and then they kind of went out a little bit. Mine were just kind of reaching out, and so I didn't have a ton. I mean, it was green in the middle, but it wasn't thick in the middle. So I went ahead and just pruned them back a little bit. Y'all, they're fine. They're junipers. They are tougher than nails. No worries on that. And I just took the hedge trimmers to them, or the little clippers to them, and got those cut back as well. Then I did all of my Gaura. They should reflush. They are showing a little signs of some wear and tear here at the end of the summer, but going ahead and getting them just a Chelsea chop, right? Just scoop it up like a big giant ponytail and then just chop them off. They're going to flush back out with new growth and flower again. Cleaned up the back side here because, again, with your petunias, these Supertunias, they bloom on new growth. So when we cut off foliage and we give them a trim, that encourages new growth. We feed them. They're going to get darker, that nice dark green. They're going to give us beautiful flowers, and then of course gorgeous nice dark green foliage. And then when the temperatures begin to cool down, hopefully at the end of August into September, then they will really hit their stride. So I am very proud of these sweet little babies for hanging in there all the way through July in the heat dome. That's a great job. And then I did go ahead and deadhead. I have 2 Pugster Amethyst butterfly bushes in here. Y'all, I typically do not deadhead my butterfly bushes. That's just like way down on my priority list. But being in this bed, and I want to get it really kind of cleaned up and look pretty, neat and tidy is the name of the game for me this time of year. And so it took me probably 20 minutes on each one to go through and deadhead them all. Simply just cut off the old brown blooms. That's all we're doing. There was tons of buds inside of there, and then they will just reflush again. They bloom too on new growth. So yeah, fantastic. So all of this maintenance, even though I'm glistening, is cooler. Definitely in the shade, it feels great. In the sun, it's still warm. But when you come out into in the shade right here, it feels fantastic. So getting all of this stuff kind of pruned back, neat and tidy, is going to reflush and be absolutely beautiful throughout the fall. So a little sweat equity now is going to pay off big dividends come this fall. I will keep you updated on how the earth planter does. I have no doubt it is going to be absolutely fantastic, but I will keep you abreast on the situation as those plants fill in and develop. Tomorrow on my list, the cottage garden. I'm going to do the same thing to the cottage garden that I did here. Deadheading, trimming back perennials, all that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be 62 in the morning, so fingers crossed I'll have a lovely day to do that. If you have some time to get out in your garden, I hope you do. Set a little realistic goal for yourself. Don't try to do it all. Just do something small, even if it's pulling a weed that has been driving you crazy every time you walk past it or drive past it. Go pull that weed. You'll feel so much better. All right, my friends, please subscribe if you have not already subscribed to Gardening with Creekside. We would love it if you would join the Creekside family. Just go ahead and click that subscribe button, completely and totally free. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.